Hello everyone, Cheek here with another Transformers review, and today I'll be reviewing the Transformers Studio Series Dark of the Moon Q, aka Wheeljack, or just Q, because that's all they call him in the film, if I remember correctly. My instincts told me not to get this guy because of the way he looks, lack of color on most of his body, and the chonkiness and other things I heard about him, but I decided to get him anyway. Q, as he was called in Transformers Dark of the Moon. I don't even think they ever referred to him a single time in the movie as Wheeljack. I loved this character in the movie. It made me so sad when they killed him off. I loved that they brought like his namesake, so to speak, Q, from like 007 with James Bond. That's what he was, I think, what they were trying to kind of go for, and I absolutely loved that. And I hated the way they killed him off, just like they did Ironhide. Although Ironhide had been around for longer, but it's like you bring this cool character in and then you just kill them. I will say one thing that was pointed out by some people that have also talked about this guy is that one of the biggest issues is that he looks more like he was built or designed by someone from the more like the Legacy toy line rather than the Movieverse studio designers, because of the all the chonkiness to him. Like, he from the front, he kind of sort of looks like a standard Movieverse toy, with the exception of maybe the shoulders, although the picture that I have found of him, his shoulders are similar to this, maybe not quite so blocky and uniform, but close enough, because that is kind of the part of the car that formed that part. And but the back just looks so bad. It just looks so much car hanging off of him, back of his legs, just all this just looks really bad. But from the front, he looks decent enough, except for maybe his forearms, which have these panels on the sides. And then his hands, I mean, they're okay, I guess. There are ports, and he does come with two weapons. I think this is like a staff taser thing. I don't know. I don't remember him really using weapons in the movie. I just remember him being the gadgets guy. And I don't know what they were thinking, putting him on the battlefield. He should have never been in the battlefield. I can't remember why he went along, but anyway, yeah, he shouldn't have been out in the field, because he's an old guy. They should have learned that, like with Jetfire, but I mean, I guess Jetfire sacrifice. His is like a pointless Seth, a completely pointless one, other than to make you really hate that human character, and then the Decepticons, I guess. I will say, for the parts that are meant to look like Movieverse robot parts, look pretty decent. Like all that molded in detail for like gadgets and spare parts. His head sculpt is very nice, very well detailed. My only gripes are that the color that they do have for like his mustache, his eyes, and then his hair just looks nice, but then when the rest of his face is just that gray plain plastic, it just looks awful. And that's probably gonna be one of the gripes that I have for the Last Night Optimus Prime when I finally get around to reviewing him, because he does have the same issues with just not having enough color. Like this, if it were colored better, I probably would have been more likely to snap him up as soon as I saw him. I went a while before I decided to grab him because, like I said, I had heard bad things about him, and and also his transformation sucks. It really sucks. I kind of want to like this guy. I'm probably going to hold on to him just to go with my Movieverse stuff, but I'm probably just going to keep him in his robot mode like this. Although I will say, his car mode is very beautiful. I do like the car mode. But also, it's like, why do I want an English car just sitting around? I'd rather have him maybe staying off in the background or something. But anyway, this does go on his back, and this gun could go on here. But like I said, he's a gadgets guy. I don't really like him having weapons as much. Yeah, so articulation. Head is on a ball joint. I guess you could pop it off if you want to recreate his death scene, but that just seems so macabre. Gets a little bit of wibbly wobbly. can could probably do a full 360, but I'm not going to risk popping his head off. It's just the way his shoulder collar thing is shaped. I just don't want to risk damaging that. Arms can go out that far, so not very far. Shoulders can go forward that far, and if you keep these in the way, can't really get a whole lot of motion here. The ball joint prevents the arms from going any further than that. He does have a bicep rotation. He does have about 90-degree bend at the elbow, and then another hinge joint right here that is pinned in, but that is for transformation. He has some pretty cool hip skirt things, which are like, I guess, think of like lab coat with gadgets hanging off. Like I said, I love this character. They did him dirty. And also because they called him Q. They didn't call him Wheeljack. They called him Q. So it's like there wasn't the expectation that he was supposed to look a certain way. And I do like the kind of Einstein-esque look that they gave him. Oh, and he, wow. I never noticed this, but he does not have a waist rotation. You'd think he would. It looks like he should. And that would have been so hard to do. Man, they really screwed him over when they designed this toy. Legs to go forward that far. Can't really go back at all because of the stupid backpack. Gets a thigh rotation. About 90 bend at the knee. Probably could get more if it wasn't for all this chonkiness on the leg. And does he have... Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, I guess I can at least say that they're pinned in, but man, no ankle tiltage. Man, I'm trying to think of the last time I saw a studio series that didn't have ankle tiltage. Even some of the sucky ones that didn't, before they really started going back to the pins, like even some of those that had like everything popping off, even they had ankle tiltage or ankle pivots. So, I mean, I understand it's kind of the way that he transforms, but still, I mean... Yeesh. Yeah, so this guy also is a real pain to transform, at least in my opinion. And speaking of that, may as well go ahead and get him into his car mode, and hopefully I don't struggle too much. Okay, maybe I was a bit too hasty coming to the conclusion that he sucks to transform, although there are little parts that are a little bit wibbly, in my opinion, but I'd say I was a bit too hasty, because I only transformed him like, this is the second time I've ever transformed him into his car mode. The first time was months ago when I was visiting my parents anyway, but yeah, that's where I got him. I got him when I was at the Walmart, at my parents' Walmart, or not their Walmart, but the Walmart in their neighborhood when I was passing through, and I was like, maybe I'll go grab Wheeljack. Anyway, I was struggling so hard to get him into his vehicle because, in my opinion, the instructions kind of sucked. And even when I was looking at him to get him reverse and back into robot mode for this video, I still found it quite frustrating. But anyway, enough blathering about that. The car mode is quite beautiful, if you ask me. they're so nice detail. I think that little emblem right there is probably originally supposed to be like a raised little icon, but obviously they can't do that here or else it would like immediately snap off or something. And then if they did it another way, it'd be like a bump and it probably wouldn't look so good. I mean, and then on the back, the tail lights are really nice. There's another emblem right here. Even has like a little number right there. Don't know what that means. It's like E550, which is pretty cool. Now I will say he is pretty much just a shell. Like I said, he's pretty much a shell former, a car shell former, because like I said, most of the car just ends up on his back and his arms just go behind his back essentially and his legs just scrunch up. So that's probably why the car mode looks so good. So I think the engineers that designed this, like I said, more for the legacy line, because it does remind me a little bit of the Sideburn, but it does remind me a little bit of that, at least with the sides and a couple other things, but they could have done better. Definitely not my favorite, like I said, but, and also one last thing, there is weapon storage for his vehicle mode, sort of, and it really sucks, because there's like, I mean, at least for the smaller one, you think they could have put it underneath, but no. And then this one, it is supposed to plug into the side, and I do believe that is also where it plugged in robot mode. And then you just plug this gun onto there, because there's not really anywhere to plug it in underneath. So that is what that is, and I will say that that's stupid storage, because it's such a beautiful car, and it looks like really out of place to have that sticking outside. I mean, I would have preferred it if it, I don't know, it's like underneath and then, I don't know, sticks out a little bit. I mean, figure out a way to put it underneath. I don't know. So that's about it for Transformers Studio Series Dark of the Moon Wheeljack. Definitely a mixed bag. Would I change the fact that I got him? Would I do that? Probably not, but definitely not one of the better ones I've seen. And yeah, if you like this review and you'd like to see more, please click that like and subscribe button to see more. Until next time, have a good one, everyone.